Hi, this is Richie Sambora. The Ocean County's Prosecutor's Office has a video that you should watch. It's very, very powerful. Life is precious, and we need to save some lives. So please check this out.
I'm not sure anyone really decides to become a drug dealer, but it does seem like the answer to a lot of problems, at the time anyway.
Yeah, guys, do not have your book. You need it.
Dude, I cannot tell you how obsessed I am with this board.
So don't tell me, dude. I gotta finish this real quick.
This guy in Highland Heights or something is selling it. So sick. 5 fins, shaped by this guy, Harold in Australia. It's supposed to be amazing.
Too bad you're broke.
No. I still owe my parents' car insurance. I need money to make it up to broke.
Hey, man. I cracked my phone last week, broke the screen. I'm right there with you. There's between me and you, I got a plan.
The phone plan?
No, a money-raising plan.
Do tell.
Could you get your hands on any pills, blues, or oxys?
Jared had given me an idea. So the only thing standing between me and that board were a handful of pills, oxys, that my mom would never miss. She got them after her dental surgery last May. Vicodin. From Dad's foot surgery. I could take a few of each. Could selling a few pills really hurt anybody? It was so easy and fast. Jared introduced me to Rudy. Rudy had cash. And 5 minutes later, I had the cash. It was scary easy. After the party, I heard from Rudy almost daily. He'd text me and I'd meet him. Turned up some new sources of pills to sell. The cash was nice. The idea that I'd become a drug dealer never entered my head.
It's okay.
How you doing? Point per, please. Are you TJ?
Yeah.
Let's see. After what I've been through over the past couple of months, since I got dragged out of my own house with my parents and neighbors watching, what do I want you to know? Oh, there were a lot of things I wish I'd considered before dealing.
And the way I see it now,
has been arrested for possession of heroin.
it's not really a matter of if you get caught, but when you get caught.
Depending on the nature of the charge as a juvenile, you can serve up to 4 years in JJC. If you're charged as an adult, you can serve up to 20 years in the NJ State Prison. Even if you are a juvenile, you can have your case transferred to the Adult Law Division. Let's see what else. Oh yeah. You lose the privilege of a driver's license, and you get hit with some pretty hefty fines. But contrary to what you might think, being a juvenile doesn't mean that your criminal record doesn't count or isn't permanent. It never goes away. So when an employer does a background check, guess what? They will know your story. These consequences, they last a lifetime. And what's maybe even worse is this. There's this awful feeling that you have deep inside. One that hits you every single morning when you wake up, and you remember. Well, that never goes away either. Your bad decisions will haunt you. And so will the way that they hurt your family and the people who love you and had big dreams for your future. Please, if you learn anything from me, let it be this. Don't do drugs. Don't sell drugs. You don't want to experience this kind of regret, or see your dreams go down the drain. I just took a minute to ask myself, is this a good idea? I wanted that board, but there were a lot of other things I could do. Put in some extra hours at the pizzeria after school, sell one of my old boards. Hell, I could even live without it. But what I couldn't live with was stealing from my parents, doing deals with strangers, getting more pills to people who'd only end up as junkies. That wasn't me.
This is my big sister, Olivia. I'm Megan, and I want you to hear my story. So my sister Olivia went to this party on Labor Day weekend at some kid's house. She didn't even want to go, but her friends Trish, Janine, and Candy talked her into it. But another decision she made that night was all hers. I knew Olivia and her friends drank, and I was pretty sure they smoked pot. But that night, I found out later, she experienced a new kind of high.
My phone's vibrating. Crap, it's my mom. I gotta take this.
My sister really wasn't the same after that party. She started hanging out with this guy she met there, and it almost seemed like she was never home, but when she was, she slept a lot. And she got really thin, too. I found pills in her makeup bag, her jewelry boxes. Within months, she was hooked on painkillers and buying whatever she could get her hands on. Olivia ran out of cash, and she started lifting from my mom, her dad, even from me, and then from Grandma. That's when my parents found out she was using. All right, here's the SparkNotes version. She lied about everything. They freaked out. There was lots of screaming and tears, and she was admitted to an outpatient rehab program. After a month, she was clean, and she was a lot nicer too, and she looked so much better. She had a tutor at rehab to help her keep up with schoolwork. After a few months, my dad got Olivia a job at a health club his friend owns. But then a guy there got her started on pills again. I don't know how, but she hid it from Mom and Dad. And then the health club guy told Olivia how she could get at least as good a high a whole lot cheaper. Heroin. So, on Memorial Day, Olivia never came home. I guess I can say it now. She never walked in our house again. We got a call from the police around midnight. Olivia overdosed on heroin and died. She was at some rundown apartment building when she collapsed, and this nice girl named Lisa called 911. I want you to know everything that I've learned about heroin since we lost Olivia, and I hope you tell everybody you know because all of it's true. And a lot of people find out too late that pills and heroin ruin lives. It's a sure way to an unhappy ending. Heroin can be injected, but it can also be inhaled by snorting or sniffing, and it can be smoked. Heroin, it causes changes in the brain, and that's what leads to addiction. And an addict will seek a drug uncontrollably, no matter the consequences. There's a lot more evidence now showing how pills like oxycodone and Vicodin open the door to heroin abuse. Nearly half of young people who inject heroin used prescription painkillers first. Please tell your friends not to make promises they're definitely going to break. Like, I'm just going to try this. You get hooked, it's out of your control. Or, I would never use a needle. You get hooked because getting a quick hit is the only way you can function, and you'll do anything to get it. But do tell them to yes. Make promises they know they can keep. Like, I'm not gonna ruin my life by using drugs. And I have plans for my future, which means I'm not gonna use drugs. And I need to learn to say out loud, I don't do drugs. And I need to stop and think before I make a decision I know I'm gonna regret. Because I want to be around for a really long time as your friend, your daughter, your son, your brother, your sister. I don't know what would have happened if my dad's friend who owned the health club didn't find out Olivia was using again and health club guy was her source. I don't really want to think about it, actually. So Olivia had no cash that night to buy pills, and she told the health club guy she really wasn't sure about heroin. When she came home, Mom and Dad were packing her a bag. She went to a residential rehab this time, and I'm happy to say, has remained clean. She even got accepted into Monmouth University. Finally, I have my sister back.
My name is Joe Coronado. I'm the Ocean County prosecutor. I'd like to thank everyone who was involved in this production. The intent of this is to save a life, and that's why we're producing these videos. But there is one question that remains. What choice will you really take?
Sometimes we live inside the madness. We have to make it through the sadness. What's worse, a blessing or a curse? gonna take a little practice. Gotta keep on keeping at this. Live and learn. Can't let us crash and burn. When you feel alone, I will sing you home. I'll be there to help you make it through. When your tears are gone, then we will go. I swear there's nothing I won't do. I'll always walk beside you, beside you. Sometimes there's nothing to believe in. End up searching for